Hey you guys, I'm back and I'm gonna do this piece that I started the other day, and it's got the brown paint on it. The paint is more of a chocolate color. It's so pretty. That's the coffee bean. And then on the top, remember I was gonna do the patina. So I had to put down a coat of the, it's called Prime Start, and it's part of our patina collection. And the Prime Start just keeps the metal safe from the patina. So you don't have to use this if you're doing it right onto paint. If I wanted to patina right on top of this paint, I can do that. I just put the copper or the bronze or the iron right on top of the paint. But because I'm doing it on metal, I don't want it to continue to rust all the way through. So I had to do a coat and let it dry overnight, another coat and let it dry overnight, just to be safe. And then I came in earlier, just about an hour ago, and I put the copper one coat on. You can kind of see. So I've kind of used a dabbing action that you'll see when I do the next coat with just a bristle brush, just a chip brush. And I try to keep the paint up at the top on all my brushes. You can actually cut off the top if you end up using a product that doesn't come out. But that way I can just rinse off the top and use it again. So let's get this on. So let's see what we're doing here. I'll put you down. You can watch my table. So you have to shake this stuff really well because it's got metal in it. And that's the stuff that actually is making the patina. It's an actual metal patina. That's why it looks so real. And as you can see, it just ended up on the top because I've already taken off the protective coating. So I'm just gonna dip it right into the top. So this is the second coat. So I'm gonna go over as closely as I can the first coat. I'm dabbing and kind of spreading because I don't want it too built up into a pattern. I just kind of want it to be in places, and it will stay kind of the design that you do as you're painting it will stay somewhat underneath the patina. And you can see where I've done the orange. I left some brass so that you can kind of get a feel for what the piece used to be and integrate it with what it now is going to be. I think that'll look authentic and old and cool. So I'm excited to see how it turns out. Good thing about this stuff, I don't have to be perfect because it's a thick product. This is kind of a, because it's got the metal particles, I guess, kind of a thicker pasty product. And so unless I want to get it perfectly smooth for a piece, it's super easy to use because I just dab it all over where I had it before. And I want to kind of keep it where I have the Prime Start so that it doesn't patina too much of the brass. There's also a coat of Prime Guard. It kind of stops it that I'm going to put over the top at the end. It'll seal it and it will stop the patina process. So even if I don't get every little spot perfectly, you'll be able to see the patina and then where the patina stops. It won't continue spreading even after my piece is finished if I put that final product on. So you can see I'm about halfway done. I'm kind of smoothing it out a little. I don't really want it to be too dotted. I want it to be thick, but I don't want it to be in any sort of a pattern, kind of random with the metal showing through. It's getting a little harder to see where I've done in the light. Make sure you have really good light. And if I get it on the side there, which you'll see I do, you can go back over with your paintbrush and a little bit of the paint, fix that up. This stuff does not come off. So if you get it on yourself or anything else, just know this stuff is not going to go anywhere. So try to be really careful, or don't wear your best clothes for this job. And you can paint over it, but once it's on something, it doesn't come off the paint very easily. So I just paint right over the top if I make a mistake, because I usually get it on there somewhere. And I can take a little artist brush and just go around the edges with that, so I don't go back and forth and do dark and light and dark and light. Okay, I think that's pretty good. You can see it's super wet still, and we want it wet because the patina will go onto a wet surface, so we want to make sure that it's got plenty of wet to adhere to. I'm going to smooth out the places that are too thick and try to keep some of those brass places little spots. I did most of it though. I do want a heavy patina. Okay, so now all of this needs to have this spray put on, and you can do it a couple different ways. You could literally just spray it on and it'll give some drip marks and dots and make a different pattern all over it. Because it's flat and I don't really want it to have drips or puddles, I'm gonna see about putting it on in this little cup and see if I can just kind of dab it on. This might take too long. I might need a bigger brush, but I'm gonna see how this works. You know, I want to make sure that this stuff gets on while it's still wet. So it is coming on. It is kind of creating a speckled look, which I don't know if I want to do. So I'm gonna get some of these bubbles off. Everything is trial and error. It should not turn the metal. If I can keep it off of those brass parts. I don't want to spray it. There, I like that. That's kind of smoothing it on a little bit more. I don't want to spray it because then it'll probably turn those brass parts a different color. I'm not really sure. Without the paint, it probably won't, but I haven't tried it. So I really want this to be my guinea pig piece because I really like this table. So I think I'm going to keep doing it this way. It may take a little longer, but that's okay. It's going on there now. You can actually see it's turning thick on my brush from my sponge applicator. It shouldn't take too long. So the copper and the I guess it's bronze, the one I used before on my little table, that turns patinaed much more quickly than the iron, I've heard. I haven't tried the iron yet, but I'll show you real fast. These are the colors again, or some of the colors. So this is what this is going to turn, kind of a green. And then I've used this one, which is, it's the bronze with the blue patina. That's on a side table I have right now out. And then this is the iron. It literally rusts. It's kind of this color, rusts the iron. So you can also do the copper with the blue. You can do the bronze with the green, but the iron, that's pretty much the color it is. You have to use the green patina. It doesn't make a different color. So I'll put just a little bit more on while I'm sitting here watching it. You can put as much or as little as you want. The puddles will make it a little more effect. And I want to make make sure that I get every little bit of this on. It looks like my paint's already drying. Dixie Belle paint dries so fast, which is really good for putting on extra coats. You just have to make sure you're working your piece instead of talking like I was, so that it doesn't dry on you before you finish. But with the paint, you can use a squirt bottle and it just smooths right out again with water. That chalk mineral will make it so that you can reuse it and rework it. In fact, after you do a base coat on a main piece, if you're doing a furniture piece, if you do a base coat, you can wait until the next day and come back to do your techniques. You just re-wet the coat of paint with a new coat of paint and rework it, and it just comes right back to life. Okay, let's see how that goes. I'm really curious to see what happens. I don't see much of a change yet. So I'm gonna give this some time to dry. It can take up to 24 hours to show. But right now I will see if I can check back. It's starting to turn a little bit green, I can see. I don't know if you can see that. It's just lightening up a little bit, but I want to see that real bright green, and in order to see that I may have to wait 24 hours. We'll see. I'll check back in.